Greetings and welcome, online investors. I'm Peter Norman from the Online Investment Conference, and today we've got another news release backgrounder to share with you. On December the 3rd, Cartier Resources announced they cut high-grade intersections of 173.6 grams per ton of gold over zero point 0.5 meters and 11.7 grams per ton of gold over 4 meters on the VG zones on East Cadillac. Joining us to provide more insight is Philippe Cloutier, CEO of Cartier Resources. Philippe, we're going back to the VG zones. What's the story behind this latest release?
Well, thank you, Peter. Let me take you straight to the highlights of the press release. Yes, these are exceptional drill results. As you mentioned, 173.6 grams per ton over half a meter and 11.7 grams per ton over 4 meters. And basically, this expands the multiple high-grade zones at East Cadillac. They're strategically located because we're proximal to the PEA mine design that we put out last year. And it keeps growing the high-grade gold structure laterally at depth. The exploration advancements so far, we've completed the 2024 program. We've got 5 new high-grade zones discovered, and we're currently planning 100,000 meters of diamond drilling on the East Cadillac property next year. So what does this look like on a map? Well, the results this morning are from this area over here, the VG10 zones. And just recall that sometime in the fall, we had brought in a second machine to follow up on this discovery, right? While the first machine, we kept on drilling the initial program. We had the machine go from East Bateman to North Contact to the portal zones. Now the machine has just completed drilling the Bluegrass and the West Portal and Simon zone. And so the results this morning are from that second machine, and you can expect results from the first machine sometime later in December, maybe in January. So again, 176 grams per ton over half a meter. And basically, Peter, what we're seeing is visible gold grains amongst like most of the holes. And from that point on, we know we're going to get some pretty spectacular results from the lab. And this program actually continues to show that this VG10 area, VG9 and VG10, continues to grow at depth and laterally. Let's look at that on a vertical slice through that area. So there you have a vertical slice, long section, through the VG9 and VG10 gold zones. And you'll see we've restricted our drilling in the VG9 area to a very tight chute. And the VG10, well, we've widened our inspection of that area, and we're now seeing gold over a bit wider zones. But that leaves the entire area between the VG9 and VG10 with very little drilling. So there's a lot of potential there. And we will continue to drill towards the west and towards the east. And obviously, as you may have guessed, there's always a potential, as we've seen elsewhere on the property, to go and expand vertically at depth. So it's looking very good, Peter. And so basically, that's all we had to say today. And there will be more news. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me. My numbers are up on the screen. You could either email me. I'm always open to getting back to any shareholders or analysts that may call.
Phil, the last few releases have been all about the portal zone. Now we're going back to the VG zone. Is this a change of priorities, or is this part of the plan?
It's part of the plan. Recall that, throughout the program, we had one machine operating. We simply had decided to add a second machine on the VG9 and VG10 zone sometime this fall. The machine that was drilling on the portal zone has since moved over to the Bluegrass and the West Portal areas. So there'll be more drill results from the Bluegrass and the Simon West Portal Zone areas, and we anticipate more results from the VG9, VG10 zones sometime in December and into early January.
Philippe, excellent presentation. To summarize, Cartier has announced high-grade drill results from its East Cadillac property near Val-d'Or, Quebec, including 173.6 grams per ton of gold over zero point 0.5 meters and 11.7 grams per ton of gold over 4 meters. These clearly demonstrate the repetition of the high-grade gold zones to be found across the East Cadillac property, and specifically that the follow-up on the VG9 and VG10 zones areas indicates we can expect to further expand the known high-grade gold mineralization both laterally and at depth. Would that be about it?
That's about it. And we also mentioned that we're working on a massive diamond drill program for 2025. So, how are we going to go about that? I'll leave you on that.
Well, Phil, the news keeps getting better and better. As always, there's a lot to look forward to and also a lot to look back on. And I encourage everyone to stay tuned for more exciting updates. Thanks for watching, and as always, à la prochaine.